2024 saw the release of quite a few animated films. I saw 10 of them. Apologies to all the people who wanted me to watch and review Megamind 2, but I'd rather floss my teeth with barbed wire than watch that abomination. These are the films I'm going to be ranking today, and we will start with the lowest of the lows and work our way up.
The universe has brought us
this fat butt Clavions.
To say Kung Fu Panda 4 went in a different direction from the previous films would be a historical understatement. We derailed and drove off a cliff. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie that made me this mad. I hope you were invested in literally any of the original characters because they all get trashed on. Shifu is especially frustrating in how he conducts himself with Po, ordering him around and getting frustrated like he's a small child. Quite disappointing. I am still firm in my score of a 2 out of 10 I gave it when it came out. My hatred of it has only grown, and I actually bought a Blu-ray copy of it just so I can make more videos on why it sucks so much.
I just hear that name and I shudder.
Mufasa.
Ooh. Do it again.
Mufasa.
Oh my goodness, I wish I could wipe Mufasa from my memory. I can't even stomach saying the full title out loud. It feels disgusting. This film didn't deserve the attention it got. It's still in theaters and it has already made $328 million, which is more than double my number 2 pick on this list. But I'm not mad. I really don't understand what part of this film people enjoyed. It's certainly not the animation or the songs, because comparing them to the original Lion King is unfair. Mufasa falls criminally short of the original's quality. And trust me, the characters and storytelling does not help this film in the slightest. I do in fact have a review for Mufasa, but if you truly want to know how bad the movie is, just try listening to the Bye Bye song from the soundtrack.
Am I upset? No, I am not. A little.
Despicable Me 4 is somehow even worse than I was expecting. It's strange to think that these minions have gone from having one extended scene in the first film for wacky childish humor to having half of a Minions movie placed inside this Despicable Me movie. If you took out the entire side plot of the Super Minions, the film would have been way more streamlined, and I honestly don't think Illumination is capable of this, but they could have used the extra half of the film to develop the characters we came to see. Or at least the ones I came to see. The first Despicable Me is still the only great Illumination movie.
The girl is clever. She is up to something. Do not take the bait.
I accept your challenge!
I have not had good luck with animation adaptations of Lord of the Rings. Ralph Bakshi's film is basically unwatchable, and War of the Rohirrim was depressingly bad. This was the film I was most excited for this year, and I ended up giving it a 3 out of 10. The geniuses at Warner Brothers decided it in their brilliance to not have King Helm Hammerhand be the main protagonist, but instead his unnamed daughter is pushed into the spotlight. The film is stuffed to the brim with bad decisions from characters who should know better, contrivances that make my brain hurt, and unfortunately the animation just isn't good enough to keep me interested. It was one big disappointment.
Wait a minute. I see. She's taken a barnacle and she's covered it in bioluminescent algae as a diversion.
Ugh. Moana 2 made so much money, guys. It was once again another film that falls way short of the quality of the original film. It feels like Moana and Moana 2 don't even care about each other. Instead of having Moana go on a quest and then encounter, character development for both her and Maui, now we simply get a quest where things happen to the characters. Not having Lin-Manuel Miranda also really hinders this film from connecting itself to the first one. It doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it anyway. Moana 2 is another film that didn't need to exist. It was only for money, and if Disney is going to make cash grab films, I would like them to at least try and write a decent script.
I know what you're thinking. He is the least qualified person in the world to lead us. And you are right.
Piece by Piece is simply uninteresting. It made me laugh a few times, and the original music was alright, but overall it failed to reach any heights with its storytelling and gave a final message that isn't supported by the rest of the film. This one is significantly better than the previous 5 on this list, but unfortunately, I still wouldn't say it's good.
I assign to you, Gosling, 0001.
Okay, that sucked.
I have heard crazy things about The Wild Robot. I've heard it's the best animated film of the year, and that it's DreamWorks' best film of all time, which is crazy. It's nowhere close on either claim. I gave The Wild Robot a 5 out of 10 when it came out, and I'll double down on that score now. It has beautiful visuals, but the plot and character work is nothing special. There were a few scenes that I thought posed interesting questions about love and motherhood, but the film never dove into those topics as much as I would have liked. It is quite a nice film, it's okay in my book, but for me to say it belongs in DreamWorks' top 10 would require a very large brick hitting my head very fast.
Ooh, it won't be long now. I can't tell you how excited I am for what's about to happen next.
Yes, I do indeed have the Garfield movie above The Wild Robot, and I realize I'm in the very small minority, but I truly believe the Garfield movie is slightly better. When it comes down to it, Garfield accomplished its main goal in making me laugh during the film. I don't want you all thinking it's a great film or anything. I did give it another 5 out of 10. I'm simply explaining how even though the plot is less focused and coherent than The Wild Robot, I think the Garfield movie wins out because the character work is better and it made me laugh. I'd recommend giving both Garfield and The Wild Robot a watch. If you have seen them both, please let me know what scores you would give them. I know literally no one else is going to agree with me, but I'd still like to know what you all think.
My finger can transform. Guess which one?
Second place is Transformers 1, a film I didn't expect anything out of, but oh my goodness, it made me want to see more Transformers. It's definitely the best Transformers film I've seen, and it's not even close. I've never understood what people liked about Transformers. I honestly thought they were kind of cringe, but now I get it. These guys are cool. This movie goes hard. I definitely recommend giving it a watch. And I know none of you watched it because it literally made less money than half of Mufasa has so far. But if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend giving it a watch. Very cool, very fun, very entertaining. And before I get to the last film, I need to acknowledge a very sad reality. 2024 was the first year in 26 years that we did not get a Scooby-Doo movie released.
You guys okay? Like, we're just completely destroyed. That's all.
These truly are dark times we are living in. But if killing Scooby-Doo for a few years was the cost of killing Velma, it was totally worth it. And now, for the final entry.
Hello! I'm anxiety.
The best animated film I saw this year was indeed Inside Out 2. This film was shockingly good. I give it a solid 7 out of 10. I was expecting another modern Pixar disaster. But oh my goodness, even though there are major problems with the film's plot, the writers came through with the characters and themes of the film. I definitely recommend giving this one a watch. It's better than the first Inside Out, and it's the best Pixar film since Coco. It has many things to say about the problem of anxiety, and does a great job of showing the audience the harm it causes and the consequences of letting it fester in the mind. Again, I do have significant problems with this film. If you want to know more about it, please check out my review. But if you haven't seen the film, please watch the film first before watching it. And thus ends another year for animation. We can always hope next year will be better, but unfortunately I doubt it will be. Now I just get my fix from YouTube animation, because getting a quality animated film feels as rare as getting ice cream from a McDonald's. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see all of you subscribers later.
One thing is certain, yeah. One thing is certain, one can clearly see that
the universe has brought us
somebody important.
Yeah, you know, like
Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor.
I see, she's taken
Dragon warrior.
and she's covered it in
Mufasa.
has a diversion.